Good day everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got something super exciting for you. We all know that in Power BI we can analyze and visualize data beautifully, but what if you actually want to write back into your system directly from Power BI? By default, that's not possible, but there is a hack. In this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to implement write back in Power BI using Power Apps, which is conveniently available as a visual right inside Power BI. And I'm not just showing you a demo. I will walk you through a real world business scenario where I use this approach to solve an actual problem. So if you are ever wanted to make your Power BI reports more interactive and actionable, you don't want to miss this. Don't forget to hit the like button if you find this helpful and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives like this. Let's get started. I will basically be using Power BI, and what I'll first do is I will connect to the Azure Databricks, and then I will get the data related to Aadhaar. If I talk about Aadhaar, I would compare it to the social security number in US and country-specific national ID systems in Europe. Yeah, so Aadhaar in India basically is a government-issued unique identification system that contains biometric and demographic data of residents. So what I'll do is I will first get the sample data as far as mimicking the Aadhaar numbers in my Power BI report. Yeah, and what I'll do is the requirement would be to check the Aadhaar number and then get the details of the respective customer. Yeah, but the thing is we need to audit who is basically checking the Aadhaar details. For example, let's consider I am looking the Aadhaar number for a client called X. Then what should happen is it should basically be get audited, wherein after looking at the report, there should be an audit in place which basically tells I have looked at the other details of this particular person. Yeah, and for that what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to use Power Apps in the Power BI, and then what I'll do is as soon as a report is viewed by a particular user, that particular information who was the user who looked at the data, what was the Aadhaar number that he looked at, and also the time when all this process happened. So all these things will be audited, and for audit what I'm doing is I'm getting this particular data I just told you written into an Excel file. So let's go ahead and do that. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to click on get data here, and then click on more, and then I will search for Databricks. Yeah, and once I have it, I will click on Azure Databricks and then click on connect. And we need these details from the Azure Databricks. Let's head to our Databricks workspace and get these details. So let's click on the compute. I'm on the workspace and I'm clicking on this compute which I'll be using, and then click on advanced, and then click on this JDBC ODBC. I will take the server host name here and then put that in the Power BI report. Yeah, and also I need the HTTP path. So what I'll do is I will get the HTTP path as well. Okay, and put it here. And then what I'll do is I will use the import option as far as the data connectivity is concerned, and then click on OK. After the authentication completed, I'm able to see the required details here. So let me click on this catalog here. Yeah, and then inside this catalog, I have the required table. So I will be taking the data of two things here. One is JB Aadhaar, and then the next one is JB Aadhaar details. Let's click on that and then click on transform data here. We have the required data here. Yep. So these are the two tables. I'm going to leave as it is. I'm not going to change the name. Yeah. Let's click on close and apply, and then let's apply the changes here. Okay, so the required tables are created. Yeah, I will first use a slicer. Yep, the slicer is in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to list the Aadhaar names here. Okay. So please note that these values are all sample data, not real data. Yeah, just to keep in mind. And then I will go to the format your visual option here. And then in the slicer settings, I will change that to say drop down. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to use. So as of now, let's have this one here. And then what I'll do next is I will name this as say the details. Yeah. And then I will create one more tab and then I will name it as Aadhaar report. Yeah. So these two things are done. Now what I'll do is I will select this particular option here, which basically tells me that it is Power Apps for Power BI. So let's click on that. And then what I'll do is I will place it as per my requirements. Yeah. And then what I'll do is now that the Power Apps for Power BI is selected, what I'll do is I will click on this Aadhaar here. And as soon as I do that, I will be able to see for creating a new app on my Power Apps. Yeah, so let's click on this Create New and then click on Go to Power App Studio. And then you will get a dialog box to get into it. So for example, it tells me open browser. So you're about to navigate to this make.powerapps.com. Yeah, I will click on OK here. And as soon as I click on that, it takes me to my Power Apps. Yeah. I will click on skip here. And then what I'll do is here, I'm going to click on this gallery. Yeah. And then I don't need that, to be frank. So I will delete that. And then what I'll do is I will click on this insert here. Yeah. And then click on this edit form. Yeah. And what I'm basically going to do is I want the mode to be new. Okay, so what I'm going to do is as soon as the Aadhaar card is selected here, yeah, the Aadhaar number or whatever is selected here, I need the control to be sent across to this particular Power Apps. Yeah. And now what happens is now what I'll do is I will create three fields, maybe maybe three text boxes as far as the forms are concerned, which basically will show me what is the Aadhaar number selected, and then it will tell me who is actually viewing this data, and then the third one would be what time, and then I will have a button here. So what will happen is as soon as a user looking at this Power BI button, Power BI report, what they basically have to do is they will basically have to select the required Aadhaar number here, and then they basically have to click on the required things on the Power Apps to get the required data. Yeah, that is in our case, the required data is the report here. Yeah. So now, as soon as they click on that, what we need to do is on the Power Apps, we need to ensure whatever data that we are looking at here should be logged into an Excel file, so that what people can do is as part of audit, they can look at that Excel sheet and then see who was the user, looked at what data. That kind of information should be there. Okay, so for that, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the data here. Yeah, and then I will search for OneDrive. Yeah, so in my case, I'm going to select this one here. Yeah, but in case if it is going to be production and you want to use a OneDrive, then I would suggest you to select the OneDrive for business. Okay, in my case, as I told you earlier, it is a demo. I'm going to use OneDrive here. Okay, and then what I'll do is I will select the required connection here. So I will connect to this particular OneDrive. So for the first time when you're doing it, it will ask you to basically sign in, and in my case I've already done that, so it is not asking me to sign in. But yeah, in case if you're doing it for the first time, it will ask you to sign in. Yeah. Okay, so here I'm going to select this Power BI here. Yeah, and then I'm going to use this data load.xlx file for my audit information to be stored. Okay, let me select that. And then as soon as I select it, it's gonna show me that this is a table available. So I will select this one. Okay, and let's click on connect here. Yep. So if you see here, the data source data load was added to your app is what you're seeing. Yeah. In the meantime, let's look at that Excel sheet. Yeah. So if you look at the Excel sheet, it basically tells me like I have these information, Aadhaar, access by, when, and this comes by default. Okay. Now, if I look at my table design. Okay, so if I look at the table design, I've named my table name as data load. So you can select as appropriate for your requirement, but in my case I've selected it as data load. Okay, I will go ahead and close this Excel sheet. Yeah, and once this is closed, what I'll do is like I will look at the Power Apps and then add the required fields. Okay, it's closed now. So just keep this in mind that the default mode in my case is like new. And then now let's click on this edit fields here. Okay, and then what I'll do is like I will click on this add field, and then I will select these three things here: Aadhaar, access by, and when. If you remember, these are the three things that we saw on that particular table called data load. Let's click on add. Yep. So this is added now. Yep. So now what I'll do is let's get into the form here, and then what I'll do is like for each and every box here, text box, what I'll do is I will right click on it and then click on unlock. Yep. For the access by also I will do an unlock, and for when as well I will do the unlock. Okay, now what I'll do is like I will click on this Aadhaar box here. Yeah, and in here in this place, if you are seeing here, or as far as the default is concerned for this particular form, for this particular text box, which is like Aadhaar, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to type this command first. Power BI integration dot data. Let's close that and then see if we can get Aadhaar, and we have the Aadhaar details here. So let's press there, and then if you can see here, whatever value that we have selected in Power BI, we are able to get that. Now let's do the same thing for access by as well. So now what I'm going to do is like as far as access by is concerned, I'm going to use this particular command. Yeah. Basically what it does is like it gets the user's email who's basically coming into the Power Apps, and then it is basically getting the value just before the @ symbol. If you want the whole email, you can have it, but in my case, my requirement requires that I just need to copy the things well before the @ symbol, because in my case, we will be able to uniquely identify the user with whatever value we have before the @ symbol. Okay, and as far as when is concerned, I'm just going to do a now. That's it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And as soon as I do that, I'm able to get the current time. Yeah. Now that these things are in place now, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to click on insert again. Yeah. And then this time I'm going to use button. Yeah. So the button is here. So what I'll do is like I will change the button to view report. Yep. So it's done now. And as far as the button is concerned, what I'm going to do is like I will simply use a submit form command, and I will submit the form 1. Okay. And once I do this, what will happen is like it will basically submit this form, that is whatever values I have here, all these things will be placed into the Excel sheet I showed you guys before. And also once the submit completes, the next thing that should happen is like it basically has to open the view report. That is like the report that we are discussing right now. Yeah. So for that, what we'll do is let's first go ahead and design the report. It's going to be very simple. I'm going to use a simple table here. Yeah. And then what I'll do is like I will insert all these details here. Yeah. The value that I have inside this JB Aadhaar details table. I will select that. Yeah, I'm not going to spend much time here because the motive of this video is more on the write back rather than designing this report. Yeah, and now we are seeing all the details. So what I'll do is like instead of looking at all the details, I will just copy this slicer and put it here, and then I will sync that. Yeah, so that I will just get the required information that is present, that is selected as far as the Aadhaar details page is concerned. Okay, now what I'll do is like I will first try publishing this report. Yeah, let me first save this. I will name it as say Power BI write back underscore July 14. Yeah, this is the name that I will be using. Let's click on save. Yep, it is saved. Now I'm going to select my workspace in the Power BI service. So let's wait for it to get published. Once it is published, we will look at the data. Okay, it is published now. I'm going to click on that, and then let's wait for our report to come up. Yeah. So select the required user. Once that is done, we will be looking at the data anytime now. Okay, so I'm interested in this particular report. So what I'll do is like I will copy this particular link here. Okay, I will copy the link here, and what I'll do is like I will integrate that into my Power Apps. Okay, let's go to the Power Apps, and then what I'll do here is like I will use a launch here. So I'm going to paste that particular link here. Okay, so it's done now. What I'm going to do is like I'm going to save it, and I will name it as JB underscore write back underscore app underscore July 2025. This is the name that I'm going to give. So it's saved now. It is saving now. Sorry. Once it is saved, I will publish it. Yep. Now click on this. If you can see here, this is the name. Let's click on this, publish this version. Okay, it's published now. What I will do is like, let's go back to our Power BI. And then what we'll do is like, let's click on choose app here, and then see if we can get our app here. Okay. I'm still not able to see the app. So what I'll do is like I will wait for a couple of more minutes, and then we'll take it from there. Let's check now. Let's click on choose app. And if you see here, we are able to see this app that we have created, which is JB underscore write back. Yeah. So I had to like wait for like 2-3 minutes to be frank. Yeah. Let's click on that and then click on add. And then I will click on skip here, and then let's wait for the fetching of app to complete. So if you see here, I'm able to get that Power Apps designed within my Power BI report. Okay, so now for example, if you see here, if we change our Aadhaar card here, you will be able to see like the value is getting changed. Yeah, so now you click on this, it is getting changed. Okay, so what I'll do is like I will select this particular value here. Okay, and then what I'll do is like let's click on view report here, and then see if it is going to work fine or not. Okay, so it is basically telling me it is going to navigate to this particular link. You know that I use the launch in my Power App. So let's click on OK, and then let's look at the report there. Let me sign in to my report. This is going to be for the first time, yeah, but you will have to sign in. There is no other option. And also like it will be opened as a new tab only, not an it's not going to rewrite or reuse or replace the existing tab. Yeah, that's something that you need to keep in mind. If you see here, I have the report for this particular Aadhaar. Now what we'll do is like let's look at our OneDrive and then see if the auditing data is there or not. Let's click on that folder. So if you see here, we have this data load.xlsx, that is the Excel file, and it's on the OneDrive folder. Okay, let's open this file. And then if you see here, we have the data logged into the Excel. For example, you see this is the Aadhaar that we selected, and it is accessed by someone by name admin. So in my case, it's me. I use this particular login, and then it was done around this time, which is 14 July 2025, around 11:39 a.m. So as a recap, what we have seen is like we developed Power BI report that basically got the input data from Azure Databricks, and that input data was sample Aadhaar card details. And what this Power BI report was doing is like it's basically displaying reports based on the Aadhaar number selected. But the requirement was like whoever was looking at the data, that information, like the user who looked at the other details, and also what other details they looked at and at what time they looked at, all those details as part of our auditing thing. We loaded those information or we logged it into an Excel sheet that is present in OneDrive. In order to do that, for the write back to happen from the Power BI natively, that is not possible in Power BI. So what we did is like we utilized the Power Apps for Power BI, and then we performed this. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Jai Hind.